Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our short webinar. Right, today I'm going to introduce to you what is modern IT, artificial intelligence, and blockchain. All right. My name is Alvin Lam. I'm the director of Massive System Group. So we are bringing to you this free webinar. So let's begin. All right. This is just a copyright statement. All right. For those of you who are not familiar with who I am. I'm the founder and creative director of Massive System Group Private Limited. We provide IT education solutions to institutes and universities. I'm also the CEO of Cyber4Sec Private Limited, and here we deal with cybersecurity and cyber forensic. I have a lot of these are my background. I have a Bachelor of Applied Science Computer Engineering from NTU. Years later, I did my MBA. And then I have cert from University of Oxford, and I also have cert from MIT, and several IT cert. All right. So I've been in the industry for about 20 years plus, and academic experience about 15 years plus. So today, our groups of companies, we deal with a lot of front-end trending topics, right? We deal with data analytics, AI and machine learning, cybersecurity, cyber forensic, IT process engineering and re-engineering, blockchain, risk management, IT governance, and as well as technopreneurship. And then we partner with various institutes and university and private entities to develop talents in these areas, and also to bring to you right now with COVID-19, right? Everybody stay home, bring to you online training. So I work with all levels of people, including CXO, including engineers, including marketing people, business people. All right, so quite a holistic range of people I work with. The whole thing is to solve business and technical challenge to help people make better decisions. Yeah. Okay, so within this short period of about 1 hour, I'm going to talk about 3 topics fairly briefly, so that you get an idea of what is AI, what's trending now, and then I will touch a little bit on blockchain, and as well as how we link this up with Internet of Things, also known as IoT. All right, so very attractive topic, right? Modern IT. So modern IT has a very, very, very wide scope. So today I will not be able to tell you everything, but I will tell you what's important, right, and what's up and coming, right? So today, if you look at humans' behavior, right, take for instance, when you wake up early in the morning, 15 years ago, right, versus what you do today. 15 years ago, when you wake up, let me ask you, what is the first thing you actually do after opening your eyes, right? Yeah, some people say, you open your eyes, you go wash your face, brush your teeth, right? Make some breakfast. That's what we did, right? Just 10, 15 years ago, right? Yeah. But let's fast forward to today. What do you do this morning? What's the first thing you did this morning after waking up? We start looking for our phones to see was there any new message? Is anybody like my Facebook post last night? You know, how many shares do I get, right? Now, if you take a moment, take a step back and observe this human behavior, the change of humans' behavior, we realize something intriguing, and it has a lot of implications, right? All of us unanimously changed our habit overnight, right? Over a decade, we no longer do things that humans are really doing, but we are now chained together by technology. And this technology is moving very fast, right? Now, in the past, we talk about young people knowing how to use computers and smartphones, but now it's everybody, right? I have people of all ages using, sending large video files across, sharing things, and then doing polling, getting feedbacks about certain online issues and things like that. So everybody everyone's behavior has changed. So we are now living in a digital era of the internet. And we know that 5G is coming, right? 5G is going to be, the bandwidth of 5G is several times larger than 4G. And therefore, a lot of things are changing. We will be seeing self-driving cars very soon, right? It's a matter of legislation. And we see surveillance system, we see e-payment and things like that. All right. Yeah. So there are a lot of advancement in technology, and of course, with the advancement of technology, there are other issues that technologies bring along, right? But today, I'm talking about a brief about how we actually see the relationship between just three items: blockchain, AI, and IoT. So what is modern IT? All right. So we pull out a few companies that you know very well. Apple, Siri, right? To self-driving car. AI now is progressively it is part of our life, right? For those of you with Alexa at home, you even have Siri listening to your habits. Translation is almost automatic, right? So what can we do, right? As individuals and companies are taking a very large advantage of technologies at using competitive edge against the competitors. But today, we will also zoom in on a few things that we as individual can leverage on. All right. So here's a brief, right? The drivers and perks of modern IT. So I've listed down a few things that you might be interested to upgrade yourself in the near future. But yeah, it will take you some time. You can't do it all at once, right? We have artificial intelligence, right? We think that the drivers would be maybe better data management, since we now have a lot of big data, so big that no one knows how big this big data is, right? We have personalization. We have future prediction, right? There are a lot of people now buying stocks using AI, right? Error detection, real-time assistant, and as well as data mining. Then we have blockchain, right? Blockchain talks a lot about a lot of things. We talk about immutability, decentralized databases, distributed ledger, transparency, data security, and privacy. And then we have IoT, right? And here, if you see the relationship between IoT, AI, and blockchain, one of the top few things that we can look at will be automation and control, tracking, being cost effective, and saving time. All right. So today, we know that Singapore, we have a very high focus on the investment of AI talents, right? So in terms of population density, right, we are producing a high density of AI talents in the world right now, right? So the next wave is probably to have a lot of applications on the ground, and then to inject human-like traits such as curiosity and empathy into AI. So this is a very fast changing environment, right? As we speak, AI is also improving, and we are also seeing multiple disciplines coming together. We no longer classify AI as a discipline of just IT or psychology, right? We are seeing a cross-disciplinary approach to solving world's problem. So we have IT, neuroscience, psychology, ethics, and laws coming together, as well as business. So yeah, we know. So it's a bit different from what you see in movies, right? Whereby AI is all about robotics and IT, but it is more now about interdisciplinary approach of AI. In other words, AI is now getting commonplace, and it is fast changing and fast research field of its own right. So co-creation of knowledge, the next wave of education, right? We feel that companies have to work together on AI projects. Individuals can also work together on AI projects. Human can work with AI on projects as well. Right, so we'll make a small, nice video for you to just to summarize what I've just said. So sit back and relax. All right, so if you are with me, you'll see a lot of opportunities with AI. All right, but to look into the future, I always advise my attendees to also study the history, right? Because if you want to know what's coming up in the future, it's good to look at what has happened. So yeah, so over here we have a very small video to summarize the entire history of AI in just a minute. Hope you like our little video about the summary of the entire history of AI. Right now, let's try interactive activity. Right, if you go to this URL called thispersondoesnotexist.com. All right, and just type this into a browser that you have. Everyone should get a different picture on your browser. Now, if you want a different picture, just press F5. Your web browser will refresh. You can press F5 a few times. Does it look real to you? What if I tell you that all these are fake? They are computer algorithms generated. None of these people exist, right? Anyone can take this picture and register an account on Facebook, right? The technology we are seeing here is known as GAN, right? A generative advisory network. It is a field in AI that use a huge data sets of real images, collate them together, and through the neural network, piece a new face and show it to you. All right, and this is just one of the application of what AI can do. Right. Hope you have fun with that. But please do not misuse that picture and register a fake account with some social media. Right. Yeah. So it's so easy to cheat, right? Okay. The larger picture, AI actually has its entire what we call the integrated ecosystem. All right. That means no one company controls the entire AI. So it's good news, right? So you won't get a situation like Skynet that you see in Terminator show, right? Yeah. So a lot of companies, different companies have different pie of the market, and then they have different technologies that can work with each other. All right, and many other smaller startup companies are also joining the field of AI. So AI can be used across a lot of spaces. All right. So here I'll show you a few examples of when we integrate various fields in AI, what do we get? All right, so it's going to change how we live, how we work, and how we enjoy ourselves and run our lives, right? Okay, so in summary, artificial intelligence, what you are very concerned about, right, is that a lot of people ask me, hey, is AI is coming, is it going to replace my job, you know? Answer is, it depends, yes and no, right? Take for example, if your job is repetitive, right? But it can be easily processed, all right? And probably not really fully manual. It can be easily replaced, right? So repeated jobs that are tedious, this kind of job can be easily handled with the help of AI algorithms. AI is also good in handling a huge volume of the processing and storage of data, right? So AI is suddenly a very huge market because we suddenly in the last decade we suddenly have a lot of data sets, right? If you look at how AI is run in China, it's because they have a lot of data to process, and therefore it is a good candidate for wide-scale AI implementation. And also another advantage of AI is used in the field of medicine, right? And there are a lot of medical applications which rely on AI. Take for instance now, hospitals are now using AI technology to take for instance in certain countries we now have hospitals that sends patients back home uh, to maybe if they are not very serious cases, right? And maybe the hospitals do not have enough beds. They may send all these patients back home to rest, but these patients need monitoring, right? Let's say cancer patients. So we are seeing technologies whereby they modify the toilet seat, right? To collect and feedback the images of the patient's stool to central databases for analysis of how badly their cancer is becoming. So we are seeing a lot of applications like this. Yeah. Next, I'm going to talk about blockchain. All right. You probably heard about Bitcoin a couple of years ago, and now you're hearing Bitcoin again, right? Because Bitcoin is going to be half, and the value might be going up, right? But Bitcoin is just a small portion of this field of blockchain, right? So blockchain includes a lot of integrated technology, right? Like payment technology, decentralized system, algorithms, cryptography, all right, and various databases and programming technology. So what can they do, right? Let me show you what it can do. Okay, now let's take a look at the one of the main application of blockchain, and this is money, right? How we understand money, and right now I'm going to show you a different way of understanding what is money. Okay, so money is exchange of value, all right, and blockchain will assist us to exchange this value in an auditable way. All right, so get prepared because blockchain will be embedded in many of the applications that we use today, whether we know it or not, right? So it provides traceability, provides transparency, auditability, and many things, including security, right? So the beauty of this is that makes our life, in terms of usage, it makes our life so much better and worry-free, right? But if you come from the provider point of view, of course, then you have to think of how to build the blockchain, and whether it's going to be a public blockchain or are you going to be a private blockchain, right? Those things we will cover in our courses. All right. So here's a case study of IBM blockchain. When Stella teamed up with IBM to create WorldWire. So the WorldWire directly connects bank across the globe without any intermediaries. So they cut off the middleman. And this process is actually not only cost saving, it is also much faster than the normal wire transaction. Right? So in summary, blockchain technologies allow us for verification without having dependent on third parties. All the transactions and data are attached to block, right, after the process of maximum trust verification, and therefore they are immutable. And the transaction that take place are transparent. Anyone can check on the ledger and verify that the transaction is actually true. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about IoT, right? Also known as Internet of Things. You hear these very often nowadays. All right. We are referring to everything that can capture data, and in fact, some of these can capture and process data as well. Right? This can include everything that you use. It can be your lamp, it can be your table, it can be your toilet bowl. All right, and in fact, if you look around, assume most of you are in Singapore right now. If you look at your lamp posts, right, on the street, they are also changing, right? We are no longer having a lamp post with just a light bulb. Some of these lamp posts are being replaced with intelligence, and we consider this as IoT as well. Right, they'll be able to capture image for analysis, and later on for facial recognition as well. So the Internet of Things is a lot of many things for consumer use, for industrial use, and as well as for your day-to-day use. So here we got another snippet of how IoT works and what you can use IoT for. All right, so IoT can now be used as a strategic tool to transform our economy, right? So let's take a look at another case study, right? This is about what we already know, smart homes and the power of AI and IoT, right? We know AI is coming, right? Some of these aspects are already here. We also have home automation, and we also have home security. We got a Link IoT camera system, and that can alert users of any changes or activities at home, right? And these are affordable, right? Do you also know that many countries use power of AI and IoT for contact tracing, right? For COVID-19. We also, sometimes you get the bills from your power bill, right? Yeah, back end they also do data crunching to estimate how much money you need to pay for utility next month, right? Things that are visible and also things that are not so visible, and they will get more and more prevalent. We will see more and more of this, and in fact, well, as far as Singapore is concerned, right, you very soon you will get your pay as you go ERP. Yeah, it's going to make use of a lot of power of IoT, AI, such things. So let's move on a little bit. All right, and of course they are getting very affordable. AI and IoT is not something that is outside the reach of normal people. Um, yeah, so these devices that are affordable can share information with each other, and with the home AI it gets even more powerful, right? And you can actually automate a lot of your life tasks, right? You can simplify your life or sometimes complicate your life. Yeah, so the AI can and then help you monitor your link appliances or device and update a user on status, and maybe be able to warn you that, hey, you might have an irregularity of your heartbeat, right? Maybe you should go and see a doctor. Yeah, okay. So it can also save lives, right? Another case study, Hyundai, all right, digital asset company known as HTech, is also applying blockchain technology to quickly and effectively communicate, handle identity verification, authentication, and data storage between IoT devices, right? The system incorporates a double chain system. That means sort of I call this a hybrid public and private blockchain to increase transaction rate and volume and keep them trackable, right? And this makes it ideal for IoT devices. So in summary, IoT is a very large field, just like blockchain and AI. So we only cover a little bit less than 1% of what IoT can do, right? So to summarize, IoT opens the door for new business opportunity if you're running your own business. Help companies benefit from new revenue streams that wasn't there before, right? IoT-driven innovation like self-driving cars, right, is already here, and can also help you in other areas of building up strong business cases, reducing the time to market for your products, and increase the return on investment, right? So it transformed the way consumer and business approach the world, right? And probably our buying and supplying behavior will also change. At the end of the day, it will also boost productivity, right? To increase the bottom line of businesses, so we can have just-in-time training for employees, right? Fully automated factory, right? Realignment of skill set of employees, and then help in the construct of a very efficient organization structure. Okay, so I've briefly brought you across many use cases in a very short time. We also talk about how this new technology is going to change your life, it's going to change economy, and what we need to do now, right? You have a short time span, probably in the next couple of years, to they call it upskill, right? I call this transformation skill, because upskill is probably not enough. You need to transform, right? You need to embrace the new kind of technology, right? And harness the capabilities of at least one of these three: AI, blockchain, or IoT, so that you can make your life more efficient, more effective. You can actually get better jobs. Maybe if you're running on business, you can then a lot of people mentioned that, in fact, a lot of economists mentioned that after the COVID-19 situation is over, right, you will not see business behaving the same. You will not see organization behaving the same. Some large organization will actually stick to work from home permanently, right? And then they are going to use a lot of gadgets like this. Some companies, even though you'll be returning to work, is going to be different, right? A lot of things will be contactless. We will plant more IoT devices in the workplace. We will analyze more data. We will do more prediction for sales, business, support. All right. We will put in blockchain to analyze, put in blockchain and using data analytics, right, to make sure that we can reduce manpower in audit, for instance. A lot of things will change, right? Some are visible, some are not so visible. And therefore, it is important that we also align our skills to the new economy. All right. So here is the bonus part, right? To give you an idea of how, right, blockchain is going to change it be used in digital transformation. All right. So the appeal of blockchain is still here, but just unlike a couple of years ago when a lot of people talk about coins, right, bitcoins and all those investment, now blockchain is more into the serious mode, right? Organizations are looking not at the coins but at the technology behind blockchain that can help them to boost efficiency and effectiveness for their businesses, right? So it's something to look out for. And of course, AI will be even larger scope, right? Yeah, you will see AI everywhere, right? AI in your phone, AI in your computer, AI in the form of probably cyborg, in the form of robots, AI in the form of non-human form, right? Maybe in the form of maybe your keyboard, right? Maybe your computer, maybe your self-driving car. Yeah, they'll come in various forms. All right, and if used correctly, it will help us with our daily lives, right? Make it more efficient, make it more lively, make it more fun, right? And probably, militaries are also using AI. So yeah, we're going to bring a balance to this. So that's where ethics in AI comes in, right? Singapore now we have ethics. First version of the ethics law on AI, so you can take a look at that as well, right? And of course, IoT means is directly linked to the first thing you thought of will be the collection of all those big exponential growing data, right? Yeah. So our role here is to transform those data that we collect, right? A lot of huge data sets into insights for you to make smart decisions. All right, so if you can collect all this information and then you can draw insights from all this information through data analytics and AI, then you can make very, very smart decisions. right? So IoT, blockchain, and AI, they are not new. They have been here for some time. So if you can leverage on them to refine and upgrade your business process, organization can reach a very true digital transformation, and of course, workers will have benefited from how we transform our know-how and our skill set in the new era. One thing that I discussed with my colleague yesterday, right? We were talking about, when we started to have COVID-19, right? A lot of every shopping mall, every place you go, people ask you to scan their QR code, collect your email, your phone number. What else? Some organization even ask for your IC, right? And your full name, right? So I was briefing a bunch of, I cannot tell you who lah, but important people. I was asking them, hey, when you all have all this data, how are you going to ensure that it's not being misused? You know, now we don't talk about, no, we don't hear a lot about this data privacy because of, yeah, I think it's unacceptable. That's why I brought this up to some committees. But I didn't get any answer, because they say, hey, now this is a different situation. But I say, well, you have a data protection law, right? When I was very little, right, in the 1980s, 90s, you watched the first Arnold show of Terminator, right? I was telling my parents that, hey, you see, next time in the future, we will have Skynet. No? And my parents were saying, hey, Skynet is real or not? This type of thing won't happen. But look at today, right? We already have many, many Skynet in many countries, right? They're recording every movement, all these recording every movement, everything you do, right? So much so that in certain places you don't even need to bring your identity card out. No, they already know who you are when you walk past one lamppost to the other. Yeah. So IoT is here to stay for good and bad. We are going to have a lot of more of these devices everywhere, and of course, I share the same concern. We have no, but it is double-edged sword, right? It can be used for the betterment of security. It can also be misused, right? If you look at how many CCTVs we have, it makes our lives more, the environment more secure. Yeah, but in terms of data security, it might be a different issue. It depends on how good the organization is in protecting and in safeguarding those data. The SME, I think my company, we advise SME a lot. Now, the thing about SME is that I won't talk about specific company, but in general, SMEs, I'm an SME. Bosses still do not place too much emphasis on the investment of IT, right? If I have only enough money, I will invest more into sales and marketing, and then the rest for IT, right? And for companies that think that they want to be ahead of their competitors, they may invest in IT. So if they invest in IT, then probably they will invest in security, AI, IoT, and even blockchain. Yeah. But typically, I don't see a lot of SME investing into blockchain yet, but I do see some SME are already investing into IoT and a little bit about AI. Yeah. But bear in mind that when you use technologies like this, you have to make sure that your underlying IT infrastructure and your data security infrastructure is already quite robust and is able to handle such endeavors. Yeah, and here's a little bit of advertisement. Yeah, so if you like to know more about our upcoming courses where I will bring the attendees, hopefully COVID-19 situation will ease, and then we can actually have face-to-face classroom. If not, it could be still online, right? We're going to see you through a full day, more intense discussion kind of training on modern IT, AI, and blockchain. Yeah, and more into the application and how you can actually take advantage of this very, very trendy technology and make either yourself better or to make your business better. Let me know if you have any feedback. You can take a screenshot of this course. If you like to contact with me, these are my contact. Stay safe, everyone. I'll see you when I see you. And if you'd like to connect with us, these are the places you can connect with us. All right. Hope you enjoy this information sharing, and I'd like to see you face to face soon. Yeah.